The photo shouldn't have been there, a candid shot of her laughing by the ocean, hair wild in the wind, eyes crinkled with joy. But as Jake's fingers flew across her keyboard, trying to recover the corrupted files that had the entire executive floor in panic, there it was. And when Eliza Chen, the notoriously ice-cold CEO of Meridian Technologies, caught him staring at it, she didn't fire him on the spot as everyone expected. Instead, her voice dropped to a whisper he barely caught, "Am I pretty?" The vulnerability in those 3 words would change both their lives forever. If you're enjoying this story of unexpected connection and second chances, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more heartfelt stories that remind us we're all human beneath our carefully constructed facades. Jake Sullivan wiped his sweaty palms on his jeans before knocking on the imposing mahogany door. The gold nameplate gleamed under the hallway lights. "Eliza Chen, Chief Executive Officer." "Enter," came the clipped response. He pushed the door open, clutching his repair kit tightly. At 38, Jake had been fixing computers for 15 years, but this was his first call to the executive floor of Meridian Technologies. The temp agency had been clear: get in, fix the problem, get out. No small talk, no delays. Ms. Chen was notoriously impatient with technical difficulties. The office was immaculate, all clean lines and minimalist furniture, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Seattle skyline. Behind an expansive glass desk sat Eliza Chen, her dark hair pulled back in a severe bun, not a strand out of place. At 42, she had become something of a legend in the tech world, turning Meridian from a struggling startup into a billion-dollar company in under a decade. "You're the IT specialist?" she asked without looking up from her phone. "Yes, ma'am." "Jake Sullivan. I understand you're having issues with file recovery." She finally glanced up, her expression unreadable. "My assistant was supposed to transfer critical files for tomorrow's board presentation. Instead, she managed to corrupt everything. I need those files recovered in the next hour." Jake nodded, setting his kit down. "I'll do my best." "Your best isn't what I'm paying for. I need results." She stood up, gathering her blazer. "I have a meeting. You have until I return." After she left, Jake exhaled slowly. The pressure was immense, not just from the CEO's expectations, but from his own life circumstances. As a single father to 12-year-old Lily, every job mattered. After losing his wife to cancer 3 years ago, he'd been juggling parenthood and work with varying degrees of success. The temp jobs paid the bills, but barely. He got to work immediately, running recovery software and trying various methods to salvage the corrupted presentation files. 20 minutes in, he hit a promising lead and began extracting data from a hidden backup folder. That's when he saw it, a personal folder that had been accidentally included in the recovery. And within it, photos. He knew he should close it immediately, but as the thumbnails loaded, one caught his eye. It was Eliza Chen, but not the stern-faced executive he'd just met. This woman was standing on a beach at sunset, laughing unreservedly, her hair loose and flowing in the wind. She wore a simple sundress instead of her usual power suit, and the joy on her face was so genuine it made his heart catch. He quickly closed the folder, feeling like an intruder. But the image stayed with him as he continued working. Who was that woman, so different from the intimidating CEO? The door opened abruptly, and Eliza Chen returned, earlier than expected. "Any progress?" she asked, setting her coffee down. "Yes, actually. I've recovered most of the files. They're rebuilding now." He gestured to the progress bar on the screen. She moved behind him to look over his shoulder, and he caught a whiff of her expensive perfume, something with notes of sandalwood and vanilla. "Good," she said, but her voice faltered slightly. Jake followed her gaze to the screen and realized with horror that the photo thumbnail was still visible in the corner of the recovery software interface. A heavy silence fell between them. Jake scrambled for words, an explanation, an apology, anything. "I'm so sorry, Ms. Chen. The recovery process pulled up some personal files. I wasn't intentionally looking through your... Close it, she said quietly. He quickly clicked away from the thumbnail, face burning with embarrassment. This was it, he'd be fired, possibly even sued for privacy violation. But instead of the explosion he expected, there was only silence. When he finally dared to look up, he found her staring at the now blank screen, a strange vulnerability in her expression. That photo was taken 5 years ago, she said softly. Before Meridian took off. Before everything changed. Jake remained silent, unsure how to respond. Then she asked the question that would echo in his mind for days to come, am I pretty? In that photo, I mean. The question caught him completely off guard. This powerful woman, who commanded boardrooms and made million-dollar decisions daily, was asking him, a temporary IT worker, if she was pretty. Yes, he answered honestly. You look happy. Something flickered across her face, surprise, perhaps, or recognition. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the moment of vulnerability vanished. Her professional mask slid back into place. The files, Mr. Sullivan. How much longer? About 10 minutes. They're almost complete. She nodded briskly. I'll be back in 15. Please see yourself out once you've finished. Jake couldn't stop thinking about that strange encounter as he picked up Lily from her after-school program later that day. Dad! You're actually on time. Lily exclaimed, her face lighting up as she bounded toward him, backpack bouncing. Don't sound so surprised, he laughed, pulling her into a hug. How was school? Boring. Except for science. We're doing a project on marine ecosystems, and I got paired with Zoe, who's actually cool. As they walked to their apartment building, a modest complex in a neighborhood that had seen better days, Jake listened to Lily chatter about her day. At 12, she was already showing signs of the woman she would become, intelligent, curious, and resilient, just like her mother had been. Their apartment was small but homey, filled with photos of the three of them from happier times. Jake tried not to dwell on the empty spaces Sarah had left behind, focusing instead on creating new memories with Lily. Homework first, then dinner, he reminded her as they entered. Can we have something besides pasta tonight? Lily groaned. We've had it 3 times this week. Jake checked their nearly empty refrigerator and sighed. How about breakfast for dinner? Pancakes? Deal. Lily grinned, settling at the kitchen table with her books. As Jake mixed pancake batter, his mind drifted back to Eliza Chen and that photo. The contrast between the joyful woman on the beach and the stern CEO was striking. What had happened in those 5 years to change her so dramatically? His phone buzzed with a text from the temp agency, client feedback excellent. Requested you specifically for follow-up work tomorrow. Accept? Jake stared at the message in surprise. After the awkward encounter, he'd assumed he'd never set foot in Meridian Technologies again. Yet here was a request, specifically for him. Dad, you're over-mixing, Lily pointed out, eyeing the batter. Right, sorry. He set his phone down and focused on dinner, pushing thoughts of Eliza Chen aside. But later that night, after Lily had gone to bed, he accepted the assignment. They needed the money, he reasoned. It had nothing to do with his curiosity about the enigmatic CEO. The next morning, Jake arrived at Meridian Technologies with a mixture of apprehension and intrigue. This time, he was escorted directly to Eliza Chen's office by her assistant, a harried-looking young woman named Mia. Fair warning, Mia whispered as they approached the door, she's in a mood today. Board meeting didn't go well. Jake nodded his thanks for the heads-up and entered the office. Eliza was standing by the window, phone pressed to her ear, her posture rigid with tension. I don't care what their concerns are, David. The acquisition is moving forward. She turned at Jake's entrance, acknowledging him with a slight nod. I have to go. We'll discuss this later. She ended the call and faced him fully. Today she wore a charcoal gray suit that somehow made her seem both authoritative and elegant. Mr. Sullivan. Thank you for coming back. Happy to help. What seems to be the issue today? She gestured to her laptop. After your recovery yesterday, everything worked fine. But this morning, the system is running incredibly slowly, and I keep getting security alerts. Jake set to work, conscious of her presence as she returned to her desk and continued working on her tablet. The silence between them was charged with unspoken questions. After several diagnostic tests, he identified the problem. You've got some malware that slipped past your security system. It's not dangerous, but it's resource-intensive. I can remove it and strengthen your firewall. Please do, she said, not looking up. As he worked, Jake found himself stealing glances at her. In profile, focused on her work, there was an intensity to her that was almost beautiful. He wondered again about the woman in the photo. May I ask you something, Ms. Chen? She looked up, surprised. You may ask. I may not answer. Why did you request me specifically? Your assistant mentioned there are in-house IT specialists. A faint smile touched her lips. You were efficient. And discreet. The unspoken reference to the photo hung between them. About yesterday, Jake began carefully. I want to apologize again for. It's forgotten, she interrupted. Professional boundaries were momentarily crossed. It won't happen again. But something in her tone suggested it wasn't quite forgotten. Almost done here, Jake said, returning his attention to the laptop. Just implementing the new security protocols. As he finished up, Eliza's phone rang again. She answered with a clipped "Chen," then her expression changed subtly. Yes, this is she. A pause. I understand. When did this happen? Jake tried not to eavesdrop, but her next words caught his attention. No, I don't have anyone who can. She glanced at her watch, looking uncharacteristically flustered. I'll be there as soon as possible. She ended the call, a rare look of uncertainty crossing her face. Is everything all right? Jake asked before he could stop himself. Eliza hesitated, then sighed. My mother. She's in a care facility for early-onset Alzheimer's. Apparently, she's having a difficult day and they can't calm her down. She glanced at her calendar on the computer screen. And I have 3 back-to-back meetings I can't reschedule. The conflict was clear on her face, a rare glimpse behind her professional mask. Before he could think better of it, Jake heard himself say, I could go. Her head snapped up. Excuse me? I mean, if you need someone to check on her. I don't have another assignment until this afternoon. He wasn't sure why he was offering, except that the look of genuine distress on her face had touched something in him. You don't even know her, Eliza said, but he could tell she was considering it. Sometimes a new face can be calming, Jake said, thinking of his own mother's battle with dementia years ago. And I can call you immediately if there's any real concern. Eliza studied him for a long moment, as if trying to decipher his motives. Finally, she nodded. Sunrise Gardens on Maple Street. Her name is Grace Chen. Room 215. She wrote something on a business card and handed it to him. Show them this. It authorizes you as my representative. I'll head there right away, Jake promised, gathering his tools. As he reached the door, she called after him. Mr. Sullivan? He turned back. Thank you, she said simply. It was the first time he'd heard genuine gratitude in her voice. Sunrise Gardens was a high-end care facility with manicured grounds and a tasteful, hotel-like lobby. Jake presented Eliza's card to the receptionist, who made a quick call to verify before directing him to room 215. He knocked gently before entering. The room was spacious and well-appointed, with large windows overlooking a garden. In an armchair by the window sat an elderly Chinese woman, her silver hair neatly styled, wearing a silk blouse and slacks that spoke of lifelong elegance. "Mrs. Chen?" Jake said softly. "I'm Jake Sullivan. Your daughter sent me to check on you." Grace Chen looked up, her eyes, the same shape as her daughter's, but clouded with confusion, studying him warily. "Eliza sent you? Where is she?" "She had some meetings she couldn't reschedule, but she was very concerned about you. She asked me to come make sure you're all right." Grace frowned. "Always meetings. Always too busy." She gestured to a chair across from her. "Sit. If my daughter sent you, you must be important." Jake smiled, taking the offered seat. "Not important at all. I just fix computers." "Ah, you work for her company?" "Temporarily. I'm helping with some technical issues." Grace nodded, seeming to accept this explanation. "She works too hard, my Eliza. Has since she was a little girl." Her gaze drifted to the window. "She used to laugh more." Jake thought of the beach photo. "I'm sure she did." "They said I was upset earlier," Grace continued, her brow furrowing. "I don't remember being upset. But there are many things I don't remember now." "That's all right," Jake assured her. "We all forget things sometimes." Grace studied him with surprising sharpness. "You have kind eyes. Are you married?" The question caught him off guard. "I was. My wife passed away 3 years ago." Sympathy softened Grace's expression. "I'm sorry. I lost my husband when Eliza was in college." "It changes you, that kind of loss." Jake nodded, feeling an unexpected connection with this woman. "It does. Do you have children?" "A daughter. Lily. She's 12. Grace smiled. "A beautiful age." Eliza was so curious at 12, always taking things apart to see how they worked. Her smile faded slightly. After her father died, she became so serious. Determined to succeed, to prove something. "I worry she forgot how to be happy along the way." Jake listened as Grace shared stories about Eliza's childhood, her academic achievements, her stubborn determination, her hidden artistic talents. It was like assembling pieces of a puzzle, seeing the human being behind the intimidating CEO. After about an hour, a nurse came in to check on Grace. "You seem much better, Mrs. Chen," she observed. "Your daughter's friend has been good for you." Grace patted Jake's hand. "He's a good listener. Tell Eliza she should keep him around." Jake felt his cheeks warm at the implication. "I should be going, Mrs. Chen. It was a pleasure meeting you." "Come again," she said, with the directness of someone who had forgotten the social convention of making such invitations sound optional. "And tell my daughter to come soon. Not just when there's a problem." "I will," Jake promised. As he left the facility, he texted Eliza, "Visited with your mother. She's calm now and doing well. Nurse says it was just a moment of confusion that passed." The response came almost immediately, "Thank you." "What did she say?" Jake hesitated, then typed, "She told me stories about when you were younger. She's proud of you. Also said you should visit more often." There was a long pause before the next message appeared. "Did she remember who you were the whole time?" "Yes. She was very lucid today." Another pause. "That's good. Please come to my office when you're done with your afternoon assignment. We need to discuss payment for this additional service." Jake frowned at the formal tone. "No payment necessary. Happy to help." The 3 dots appeared and disappeared several times, as if she was typing and deleting responses. Finally, "My office. 5 p.m. Jake's afternoon assignment took him to another part of the Meridian building, fixing networking issues for the marketing department. By the time he finished, it was nearly 5 p.m., and he hurried to Eliza's office, not wanting to be late. When he arrived, her assistant Mia was packing up for the day. "Go right in," she said. "She's expecting you." Eliza was standing by the window again, silhouetted against the setting sun. She'd removed her blazer, and in just her silk blouse and tailored pants, she looked somehow more approachable. "Mr. Sullivan," she acknowledged, turning to face him. "Please.